People don't lose a race because they lack speed. They lose because they stop looking forward. The moment they glance back to compare, pause to argue, or step aside to listen to whispers, they hand the victory to someone else. Life's race works the same way. The greatest enemy isn't those who run faster than you, it's the distractions that creep in, quietly stealing your focus, turning you into your own obstacle. Today's world is overflowing with noise. Social media drags you into cycles of comparison, the news unsettles your mind, and other people's opinions become the false ruler of your worth. Every time you stop to prove, to respond, or to compete in meaningless debates, you lose rhythm. You pull yourself away from the straight path that leads to success. Distraction is like a master thief. It doesn't storm in to rob you. It takes piece by piece. Every minute, every ounce of energy, every moment of inner peace. It convinces you that reacting to others is more important than acting for yourself. It tricks you into believing an argument is worth more than a step forward. But when the anger fades, when the conversation ends, you realize you haven't moved any closer. The goal still feels far away, yet your energy is already drained. In the race, the truly wise aren't the ones who sprint in bursts. They are the ones who keep their eyes straight ahead, who ignore the noise, who discipline both their feet and their hearts. Discipline keeps you from wandering off, even when countless signals invite you to stop. Focus keeps you moving forward, even when your ears are surrounded by voices pulling you back. The steadfast don't need to prove anything to the crowd. The finish line itself becomes their loudest answer. This is the art of walking through chaos without letting your mind be shaken, of living in a world full of noise while keeping your inner compass pointing forward. Ask yourself, are you truly running your race or just standing at the sidelines arguing with passers-by? Are you moving toward your goal or losing it in battles that don't matter? The answer will define your path. Life waits for no one. Each time you pause for distraction, an opportunity slips away, the distance stretches further, and a dream drifts farther from reach. Success smiles only at those clear-headed enough to know that the noise outside will never matter more than the steady rhythm of steps forward. A true winner is not someone who never hears ridicule, but someone who hears it and chooses not to react. Not someone who's never been compared, but someone who keeps walking to their own rhythm. And not someone who never feels the pull of distraction, but someone strong enough to refuse it. The destination has always been ahead, reserved only for those who never take their eyes off their own path. Every morning you wake up with a limited supply of energy, like a battery freshly charged. And just like the phone you carry with you, how long that battery lasts depends on how you use it. If you spend it on data-draining apps, mindless scrolling, or pointless arguments, you'll find yourself drained far too soon. But if you choose carefully, prioritizing what truly matters, selecting each action, thought, and relationship with intention, you'll have enough energy not only to get through the day, but to move closer to your goals. Energy is not infinite. It's like water in a container. If it leaks everywhere, you'll find yourself parched with nothing left to drink. And the danger is that most of the leaks come from things that seem small: a rumor, a harsh online comment, a never-ending argument. These things bring no value, yet they drain an enormous amount of your mental energy. You walk away heavier while the person who spread the negativity carries on with their life unaffected. How many times have you let a careless remark haunt you all day? How many times has an anonymous comment online shattered your focus? How many nights of sleep have you lost replaying an argument? These are the clearest signs that you are investing your energy in the wrong places. And the hard truth is this: the energy wasted on meaningless battles will never return to help you achieve what you truly desire. Successful people aren't those with more energy, they're those who manage it better. They choose battles worth fighting. They invest in habits that nurture focus. They know how to say no to invitations that pull them off course. That discipline is what makes them resilient, unwilling to be defeated by trivial distractions. Think of your energy like capital. Each day you only have a limited amount to invest. If you pour it into losing deals, arguments, comparisons, gossip, you'll go bankrupt. But if you invest wisely in learning, training, and consistent small steps forward, you'll witness the compound interest of growth. That's how people get ahead, not because they have more energy, but because they use it more wisely. Energy is not just physical, it's also mental. Your body can be tired, but if your mind is bright, you can still move forward. On the other hand, you may have strength in your body, but if your spirit is clouded, you'll stay stuck. That's why you must protect your mental energy as if it were a flame in the wind. Don't let petty remarks, empty words, or cheap arguments blow it out. The question you need to ask yourself daily is this worth giving my energy to? Will this move me forward? Will it matter 5 years from now? If the answer is no, let it go immediately, because every moment spent in the wrong place is a moment stolen from what truly matters. Never forget, the greatest enemy of a dream is not failure, it's distraction. Failure at least teaches you lessons to rise again. Distraction only robs your time and strength silently, leaving nothing of value behind. To protect your energy is to protect your future. And that requires learning to say no, to set boundaries, to create distance, so your energy isn't wasted on what doesn't deserve it. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Endurance matters more than sudden bursts of speed. To go far, you must conserve your battery for the entire journey. Remember this, those who spend energy recklessly collapse before the finish line. Those who preserve and invest it wisely are the ones who always reach for victory. Silence is not weakness, it is a form of power. Power comes from not needing to prove, not needing to explain, not needing to respond to every word around you. The stronger a person is, the less they speak, because they understand the value of stillness. In a world where everyone is eager to expose every detail of their lives, knowing how to stay silent becomes a remarkable strength. Silence does not mean denial, it means discernment. Not every question deserves an answer. Not every attack requires a reaction. Not every story needs your presence. Each time you choose silence, you preserve energy. You show that you cannot be easily dragged into chaos. The wise know this. The less you say, the fewer opportunities others have to twist, exploit, or misuse your words. Privacy carries the same power. Big plans, important projects, fragile dreams, these must be protected like seeds in their earliest stage. If you expose a seed before it's strong enough, the storms of gossip can sweep it away before it ever takes root. Guarding your privacy is not about fear, it is about timing. A tree never announces, "I am about to bear fruit." It simply grows quietly, and when the season comes, its fruit appears as undeniable truth. That is the lesson of privacy. Many fail not because they lack talent, but because they rush to boast, to share too soon, and end up dragged down by envy and discouragement. Not everyone who claps for you is cheering with sincerity. Some applaud only to mask their desire for your downfall. Some ask questions only to gather information they can use against you. When you remain silent, you hold control. When you stay private, you force others to wait for results instead of interfering with your process. Silence also gives you freedom. When you no longer feel the need to justify every decision, you live lighter, more focused. You are no longer bound by judgment or trapped by others' expectations. You move at your own rhythm, adjusting your path the way you see fit, without asking for permission. That is true freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of action, freedom of growth. People often see silence as emptiness. In truth, silence is the space where wisdom speaks loudest. In quiet, you hear your own voice more clearly. You can distinguish what is worth doing from what is merely a trap. In privacy, you have time to refine your skills, deepen your knowledge, and strengthen your character. And when you return, you do not return with promises, you return with results. Remember this, not every detail of your life needs to be public. The fewer people know, the less control they have. The more you keep hidden, the more power you hold. No one can sabotage what they don't know. No one can block a plan they've never heard. Your power lies in your ability to stay silent, to guard your privacy, and to choose what is revealed and what is protected. In a noisy world, silence is a weapon. In a society obsessed with display, privacy is a privilege. The successful do not need instant approval from the crowd. They let time and results speak for them. And when results arrive, they echo louder than any declaration. That is true power, calm, quiet, yet undeniable. No one starts life's race from the same starting line. Some were trained early, some had advantages, while others carried heavy burdens from day one. Comparing yourself to them is like comparing a newly sprouted seed to a tree that has been nurtured for years. The result will only leave you either insecure or delusional and both pull you away from your true path. Comparison is a subtle trap. When you see others succeed earlier, it's easy to believe you're behind, to doubt yourself, to feel discouraged, to want to quit. When you see yourself as more capable than someone else, arrogance can creep in, making you stop too soon, forgetting that the journey is far from over. Insecurity and arrogance look different on the surface, but both share the same root: measuring your life by someone else's. And that is the greatest mistake. The only person you need to surpass is the version of yourself from yesterday. Each day, if you move just a little forward, learn one new skill, build one good habit, let go of one delay you've already won, quietly, without the need for applause. And that is the most sustainable victory. Think of a marathon runner. He doesn't look around to see what shoes others are wearing or how they train. He focuses only on his breathing, his steps, the road ahead. Long distances aren't meant for the distracted. Endurance belongs to those who stay with themselves. Your life works the same way. It's not about proving to the crowd, but about perfecting yourself day after day. Every time you compare, you rob yourself of joy. You could have achieved something meaningful, yet the moment you see someone slightly ahead, your happiness evaporates, replaced by lack. Joy is swallowed by envy, and you become a prisoner of comparison. But when you focus on yourself, you learn to cherish each step forward, no matter how small. That kind of joy sustains you far longer than any compliment ever could. Comparison also blinds you to the truth that every journey is unique. Others may move quickly, but their road is not yours. They may succeed in their field, but that doesn't define your worth. Your goals and your destination are yours alone, irreplaceable, non-transferable, and beyond anyone else's control. The only thing you can truly control is your own growth. Measure it by asking, am I better than yesterday? What did I learn this week? Which bad habit have I dropped this month? That is the real ruler. The more you focus on it, the more clearly you'll see your progress. And one day when you look back, you'll realize how far you've come without ever needing to look sideways. The world doesn't need a faint copy, it needs a strong original. If you spend your life chasing someone else's shadow, you'll always remain behind. But if you stay true to yourself, you'll carve your own path, a road where you are the only front runner. And once you become the best version of yourself, comparison becomes unnecessary because your journey itself is enough. Don't let your eyes wander from your path just because someone else's pace looks tempting. Don't let your heart envy achievements when you don't know the price they had to pay. Focus on your steps, steady, disciplined, joyful, and celebrate the quiet victory of surpassing who you were yesterday. That is the only race you must win, and the only race worthy of all your strength. Success is not a gift from fate, nor the outcome of chance. It is the product of discipline, of small choices repeated every single day, choices that may look insignificant in the moment but compound into extraordinary strength over time. People often speak of luck as if it were essential, but the truth is, luck only visits those who are ready, those disciplined enough to seize it when it appears. You can wait for luck to knock, but if you haven't trained, if you haven't prepared, then even when opportunity arrives, you won't be able to hold on to it. An athlete doesn't win because of luck, but because of thousands of unseen hours of practice. An entrepreneur doesn't succeed because of a random idea, but because of the persistence to refine it through countless failures. Luck may give you a beginning, but only discipline will carry you to the finish. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when your body craves more sleep. It's choosing to study while others are relaxing. It's continuing to work when your motivation has already faded. Discipline is the ability to keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. It is the foundation on which every lasting success is built. While luck is nothing more than a passing wind, it may come, but it can leave just as easily. Those who depend on luck often find themselves disappointed, waiting for the perfect moment, the golden chance, the miracle push. But life rarely gives such things. Those who believe in discipline are different. They know the perfect moment never comes, only consistent action creates perfection. They don't wait for opportunity, they create it through persistence, consistency, and refusal to quit. Consider the difference between two people. One sits dreaming, hoping that someday luck will arrive and change everything. The other quietly works, polishing their skills step by step, building resilience day after day. When opportunity finally appears, the first person isn't ready, while the second has already prepared to seize it and turn it into achievement. That isn't luck, that's discipline. The greatest danger of relying on luck is that it makes you passive. It tempts you to justify procrastination, to blame fate, to stop moving because you believe the timing isn't right. Discipline teaches the opposite. There is no right time. The only right time is now. Every day you choose discipline, you move forward one step. And those small steps, compounded over time, take you to places the passive dreamers waiting for luck will never reach. Successful people aren't ahead because of where they started, they're ahead because of their habits. They choose to read instead of scrolling. They choose to exercise instead of surrendering to laziness. They choose to act instead of waiting for the stars to align. And those repeated choices create the widening gap between them and everyone else. You must ask yourself, what do you want your life to depend on? On chance, which you cannot control, or on discipline, which you can strengthen daily? The answer will decide whether you're someone who waits for luck or someone who creates success. Remember this, luck is only a short-term reward. Discipline is a lifelong asset. And if you are disciplined enough, persistent enough, you'll discover a powerful truth. Others will look at you and call it luck, but you will know it is the result of thousands of hours of quiet, relentless discipline. No one can control you unless you hand them that power. Every time you get angry at a harsh word, every time you're upset by a disrespectful glance, you're placing the remote control of your emotions in someone else's hands. And at that moment, you're no longer the master. You've become a puppet of provocation. Mastering emotions does not mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It means you recognize the anger rising, but you choose not to let it drive you. You feel the sting of hurt, but you don't let it turn into hatred. You understand that reaction itself is power, and that such power should only be given to what truly deserves it. Look at those who excel at emotional control. They don't let a meaningless comment ruin an entire day. They don't allow someone's small action to send their mood spiraling. They are like chess masters, every move deliberate, never rushed, never impulsive. They know that impulsiveness only gives advantage to the opponent, while calmness keeps the board in their hands. When you react instantly to provocation, you hand others the victory they wanted. They provoke you to see you lose control. And the moment you explode, they succeed. But when you smile, remain silent, or simply walk away unfazed, you take back the power. You turn their provocation into nothing because without your reaction, their game ends. People often mistake silence for weakness. In truth, silence is evidence of maturity. Anger drags you down to the level of the provocateur, while calmness lifts you above it. Silence does not mean you're ignoring. It means you value yourself too much to let someone else dictate your emotions. Remember this, emotions are energy, and energy is finite. If you waste it on anger, jealousy, or envy, you'll have nothing left to invest in creativity, learning, or action. The wise conserve their emotions for what matters. They don't let rage consume their time and strength. They choose to channel that energy into progress. Mastering emotions is not the same as being emotionless. It's the ability to observe your feelings from a safe distance, like watching waves from the shore without being swept away. The waves may be big, may be fierce, but you remain grounded. That is the state of true strength. You cannot control what others say or do, but you can always control how you respond. That is the defining line between the weak and the strong. The weak let the outside world dictate their inner world. The strong let their inner world determine how they face the outside. And that is what creates the difference in life's outcomes. Every time you stay calm, you affirm to yourself, I hold the remote. Every time you refuse to fall into a trap of provocation, you forge another layer of armor for your self-mastery. And layer by layer, year after year, you become someone unshakable. Life will always test your emotions, but those who master them will always go farther than those mastered by them. Because in the end, true victory is not silencing others, It is keeping your peace no matter how loud the noise outside becomes. That is the highest form of strength. The strong don't need to say much because their results are powerful enough to silence every doubt. In a world where everyone rushes to prove themselves right, choosing to let results do the talking becomes a unique form of power. You could argue all day, but a single achievement has the force to quiet every voice of opposition. No argument echoes louder than undeniable truth. Results are the one voice no one can refute. You don't need to boast about your effort or explain the hardships you endured, because when you achieve what others thought impossible, your very presence becomes the clearest proof. People may doubt words, but they cannot deny reality. Those who only know how to talk often remain stuck there. They waste energy proving themselves with words, waiting for recognition from the crowd. But when the words fade, nothing remains. The wise understand that instead of feeding the fire of debate, it's better to fuel the fire of action, because action is the most powerful form of speech. Think of a tree. It never shouts, "I am about to bear fruit." It simply absorbs the light, drinks the water, sinks its roots deeper into the soil. And then, in season, its branches hang heavy with fruit, so undeniable that no one can ignore it. People are the same. Those who nurture their growth in silence will eventually let their results speak louder than any advertisement. In work, promises and plans only matter when they turn into results. No one cares how well you speak. They only look at what you actually deliver. In life, excuses for failure are quickly forgotten, but achievements are remembered for years. The successful don't explain, they let their lives be the answer. Most importantly, results earn respect. Words can grab attention, but only results can command respect. That's what proves your value, builds your credibility, and becomes the one piece of evidence no one can deny. True respect is never given freely, it is earned through results. When you choose to let results speak, you also learn the art of patience, because results don't appear overnight. They are born of repetition, persistence, and long unseen days when you continue despite no applause. Those quiet seasons are what make your results solid. And when the moment comes, when your achievements finally appear, every silent effort becomes the music behind your triumph. The wise don't waste time arguing with those who don't understand. They know that truth will reveal itself when the time is right. Instead of spending energy on debate, they conserve it for action. They don't need to shout to be heard, because their results are the echo no one can ignore. So let others talk. Let them doubt, let them mock. You don't need to respond. All you need to do is keep walking, keep working, keep persisting. And when your results arrive, every word spoken against you will dissolve in the silence of truth. That is the sweetest moment, not when you speak, but when the world is forced to acknowledge you. Part 8. Focus on yourself, become an inspiration. When you stop looking at others, stop wasting energy on comparison, stop letting your mind be swayed by praise or criticism, the power returns entirely to your hands. Every step becomes steadier, every decision clearer, and life begins to flow in the direction you choose instead of being pushed around by outside forces. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is the highest act of self-respect. When you devote your full attention to your own journey, you'll discover something remarkable. You move faster, deeper, more consistently. Instead of running in circles to prove yourself, you move straight toward your destination. Instead of losing yourself in useless debates, you pour your energy into sharpening skills, expanding knowledge, and nurturing growth. And that very growth becomes a source of inspiration for those still lost in the noise of life. Those who focus on themselves don't need to shout to be noticed. They shine naturally, like a small candle bright enough to light an entire room. Others look and immediately sense the difference. Calmness, steadiness, certainty in each step. It is a quiet magnetism that needs no performance, yet everyone feels it. Ask yourself, what leaves a stronger mark? A person who spends their days watching, gossiping, analyzing others' lives, or a person who quietly builds, persistently rises, and one day stands firm in a place no one expected? The answer is obvious. Those who focus inward always leave a lasting legacy, while those consumed with other people's business leave behind only emptiness. Focusing on yourself is also the path to freedom. When you no longer seek outside validation, you free yourself from the prison of other people's eyes and words. You act for your own purpose, not for applause. You choose the path aligned with your values, not the one society labels as success. That independence makes you stronger, more confident, more at peace. Most of all, when you live with this focus, you inspire others effortlessly. They see you not chasing the crowd, not trapped in arguments, not shaken by comparisons, yet still moving forward with discipline. And they realize there is another way, the way of returning to oneself. You become a living lesson, not because you try to teach, but because the way you live speaks louder than any instruction. True success doesn't come from noise, it comes from focus. The fewer distractions, the more strength you have, the less you care about what others think, the more time you gain to turn dreams into reality. And when you finally reach your achievements, you don't just transform your own life, you awaken the belief in others that they, too, can do the same. In the end, life doesn't reward those who watch and gossip. It rewards those who focus and act. Don't let your eyes drift to someone else's race. Keep them fixed on the road ahead where your dream is waiting. Because once you truly focus on yourself, you don't just become the best version of you, you become an inspiration to everyone still searching for light in the dark.